Paul D. Owen here for Law School Success. We're going to talk about frequently asked questions and questions you should ask. Let's get started. FAQ number 1, frequently asked question. What can I do in advance to prepare for law school? There's 5 things that we feel are important to do. Read the book Influence, Science, and Practice. Learn to type 40 words a minute or better. Master the usage of your computer and its word processor programs. Understand the learning process required to internalize the law. And there's a few do nots. We have 3 do nots that we want to go over as well. First, read the book Influence, Science, and Practice, Robert B. Cialdini, 4th edition. We have the 4th edition in-house. There's the ISBN number. What is this book about? This book is a primary learning tool for all attorneys, whether they've read it or not. All the good attorneys already do what's in Influence, Science, and Practice. What does that mean? People who have authority and influence over you will con you and get you to do things. This book tells you how it's done, what they're doing to you, and of course, when you see it's being done to you, you will know how to avoid people with influence. Who has influence over you in law school? Other law students, 2L, 3L law students, attorneys, professors, the deans of the schools. They will tell you to do things. You will blindly, like the fool that you are, because you're being influenced and conned, most of you will do what they tell you to do and make your life absolutely miserable. Read this book. It's the most important, and it's the first lesson for you to learn how to think like an attorney. Don't let people influence you. Read the book. Learn how to type 40 words a minute or better. If you can't type, and you can't type quickly and decently enough, you're going to have trouble with the amount of information that you need to know, absorb, and then regurgitate in a format where you can learn it, the customization for you and the information. If you don't type 40 words a minute or better, and 2/3 of the law students can't, they automatically have trouble with law school. Computers, 2 types, Macs and PCs. Master the usage of your computer and its word processing programs. If that means going to a community college and taking a course over the summer to learn how to use your computer properly, do it. You need to know how to do everything on your computer and get the most out of your computer. Whether you buy a Mac or a PC, we'll give you our 2 cents on it. Windows Vista was terrible. Windows 7 is good. Windows 7 is as good or better than the Mac. When we look at the price of computers, we look at a Mac at $1,500 to $1,800. We look at a PC with Windows 7 on it at $500 or $600. We go with the PC because we save the money. The second issue with PCs is 99.99999% of all programs in the legal community work on a PC. Your exam writing software works on a PC. And the other issue that we look at, you use a laptop in law school, you carry it around everywhere. I guarantee you, in the 3 years of law school, you're going to break it. What do you want to break? Do you want to break a $1,500 to $1,800 item? Or do you want to break a $500 item, which is easily replaceable at probably even a lesser cost than what you paid for it? So master the usage of your computer and its word processing programs. Very important. Understanding the learning process required to internalize the law. We call this the M.A.D. study method, memorize, apply, and dissertate. We learned this process because we asked very, very intelligent people in the learning community, how does one go about internalizing things? And almost every one of them came up with almost the exact description of what the M.A.D. study method is. No one else in law school does this. Many profs will tell you not to memorize. Many profs don't even care about dissertation. They'll just say, here, do the IRAC method. And they'll tell you what IRAC means. They'll throw an example on the board, and that's the last you'll ever hear of it. That's it. That's all you get. Most of the time they talk about the application of the law in class, and even half the time in class isn't even talking about the application of the law. You need to learn the M.A.D. study method, memorize, apply, and dissertate. We'll go over where you can find free sources for that, and we'll find relatively cheap and inexpensive sources to be able for you to learn that methodology. That's in future facts and things you should be asking. Do not, the do not, do not, do nots. Do not buy any book about law school experiences. We can give you 5 names of books right now. We've read them all. They're worthless. They're not worth the paper they're written on. Now, got lots of money, got lots of free time. By all means, go waste your money on those 5 books. But you better have good health insurance too, because they'll drive you insane. So you better have something to cover the temporary insanity you're going to suffer after you're done reading those books and believing everything in them. Again, harking back to the influence, science, and practice. Okay, we don't recommend reading any of those books. Taking law prep courses the summer before law school was a bad idea. We only know of one that teaches the M.A.D. study method, and we don't even recommend that because you can buy a CD on that and get the whole course for under $60. So why take the $300, $400 course when you can get the whole thing for $60 on a CD and listen to it yourself over and over and over again, which is very important. So law prep courses, for the most part, are a waste of time. And this last one, do not try to learn the law in advance. Big waste of time to try to learn the law in advance. Here's why. Once you memorize the law, you know that when you turn the memorized law into questions, you ask the question, and 90% of the time, even though a person has never studied the law, 90% of the time, what we call Joe Six-Pack can answer that question. So you ask the question, anybody can answer it. That makes you a genius. You're a legal genius already. You just didn't know it. Okay? So, but there's 10 to 15% of the law. When you ask the question, the answer is idiomatic. And this idiomatic law is the key to what you learn in law school. Problem with that is there's a specific way to learn idiomatic law. And one of the most important things about learning the idiomatic law is the following. You need to actually see people who know as much idiomatic law as you do disagree on the nature of the interpretation of the facts. Once you see that over and over and over again, which is what class discussions are supposed to be about, which they never are, but when they do happen, you actually begin to have an understanding and a feel for what it takes to learn the idiomatic law and where the pitfalls are when you're dealing in legal matters. So you begin to see everything. You begin to put yourself in other people's shoes and imagine what they would think was going on because you have complete and true mastery of the idiomatic law. You can't learn that in a vacuum. That's one of the primary reasons why you go to law school. You have to learn this idiomatic law. So those are our do nots. So let's recap again. Read the book, Influence, Science, and Practice. You better learn to type 40 words a minute or better, or you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Okay? Master the usage of your computer and its word processing programs. Again, once again, you don't do this, again, you're just taking yourself a notch lower for no good reason at all. Okay, you're making things more difficult on yourself for no good reason at all. We recommend PCs for the price and the ease of use of all the applications you'll have to use in the legal community. We recommend that you learn the process required to internalize the law, which is the M.A.D. study method, and in later facts and things you should be asking, we'll show you cheap ways to get a hold of that information. And again, we have the do nots. Do not buy any book about law school experiences unless you have a good health insurance policy. And don't take any law prep courses that don't teach the M.A.D. study method. And don't waste your time trying to learn the law in advance. On that last one, law school goes so slow in the beginning that if you understand the memorize, apply, and dissertate study method, that in the first 2 months of law school, if that's all you're doing, it's so easy to keep up. And even when things get faster, you'll be used to the memorization and the methodology of how it works. You'll be able to keep up with it. So you can easily learn the law you need to know as things progress in class. You don't need to learn anything in advance. Again, law school success. This is Paul D. Owen. Frequently asked questions and questions you should ask. By all means, visit our website at www.bsmsphd.com. Thanks for listening.